Hi, this is Josh, your EdTech Spec. And if you have recently migrated from Outlook to Gmail, you might miss the layout and some of the features of that you had in Outlook, even though you've got better search functionality and some better other features. So what I thought we'd do today is look at 3 quick and easy steps that you can do to make Gmail look a little bit more like the Outlook that you might be used to. Now, these 3 easy steps don't have to be done together. I'm going to show you them in order of biggest changes to the look of Gmail to the smallest changes. And then you can decide to do one of them, 2 of them, or all of them. So here we are in a Gmail inbox. This is a completely unconfigured Gmail inbox. I have another video on the different sorts of Gmail inboxes you can have. But here's just your standard unconfigured one. So we're going to do 3 things that involve us getting into the settings. So the settings are under this gear drop down in the upper right. So when I click on that, I'm going to come down to the word settings. Now you'll notice across the top we have these different categories of settings. So we're going to find the one that says labs, and you'll see it says this whole crazy experimental stuff. It's not really that crazy, and most of these have been here for quite a few years. So they're in alphabetical order, and the first one we're going to turn on is this one called Preview Pane. So we're going to click Enable, then we're going to come down and Save Changes. And you'll notice whenever you save changes in a lab, Gmail needs to reload to show them. So here you have, here we are in the Preview Pane. Now you'll notice up next to your gear for settings, you have this new menu that is your Preview Pane menu. Now you can turn off the split if you want. You can go into a horizontal split where when you click on things, the preview will be down below, or you can do the vertical split, which is pretty close to what most people are used to in Outlook. You can see when you click on something, you get the preview over here. And after a while, it will mark it as red and the bold goes away. I'm going to go ahead and mark that as red again. So here, if that's all you wanted, you just want to see a preview pane, you want your list of emails, you could stop there or you could keep going. So our next one has to do with calendar. So again, we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to go to settings again, the word settings. We're going to come to our labs. And what we're looking for is the Google Calendar gadget. So we're going to enable that. And again, we need to save changes. This will reload Gmail for us. So now what we have here is the calendar gadget is loading, right? So sometimes when you first load the calendar gadget, it doesn't load. And what you get is this 3 dots that says gadgets right here. So because sometimes even though you've installed the calendar gadget, you still see your Hangouts. So if you click on the 3 dots, you should see the Google Calendar gadget. And if when you load it, you don't see the word options, you're going to come up here to your browser. You're going to reload the page. And most of the time, you'll find these interface problems are solved by simply reloading the page. So you see here, let's look at what's in our Google Calendar for today. So for today, we have event 1, event 2. We have just some things here to show you what it looks like. So when we come back here, now we see at 12:15, event 1, 4:30, event 2. We can see what's in tomorrow. Now, this will show you what's there. And if I click on it, it just goes if there's any sort of description, and I can click back. If I go to event 2 and more details, if I click more details, it opens it up in Google Calendar, and then I could edit it right here. But let's head back. So if this is good enough, then you can do that. But if we click under options, we have a few things. First off, if we turn on show the mini calendar, then wherever we have bold numbers, we know we have some events, and we can click over and find those events. For example, if we click over here to March 4th or April 4th, we see all the other stuff that we have. We can click back to today. So it's like a little miniature navigation for Google Calendar that can make that really useful to us. If we click here into options and go edit visible calendars, then all the ones we have access to, if we have shared calendars, we will be able to see in our little calendar gadget. So that is step 2. So now we have our preview pane, we have our calendar and our events embedded right in here. We have these 3 dots here, and we could slide this up and down in case it's overlapping our folders list, or our labels, these are actually called. So this last one really is less about looks and more about function. So right now, by default, Gmail threads conversations. And what that means is, so you'll notice it says I have 4 unread emails in the inbox. That's what the number in parentheses for. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. But this one has a 4 in it. So this is in conversation view. So that's currently on and it's threaded. And it's basically treating this as one unread email. Notice I opened a whole conversation, but that number went from 3 to 4. So here we have the original email in, then my response out, then an email in, and an email in again. So that is a very Gmail way of looking at email. It calls these conversations. They're like threaded. And but what you're not seeing is a separate email for each one of these. It's all coming in one conversation chunk. Now, I personally prefer that because it's a less bloated email, less bloated inbox. But if you don't like that, you can turn that off. So I'm going to mark this as unread again. And then we're going to go into our settings and we're going to hit settings. And now we're going to come down here to conversation view and we're going to turn that off. We're going to scroll to the bottom and click save changes. And now you'll notice my inbox has gone to 6 and each one of these has its own entry in email. So I'm looking at things at more a one at a time. And again, these are all options. You can turn them all on and off by simply going back into the settings and undoing them. And I hope this makes your migration from Outlook to Gmail a little bit more comfortable. Thank you very much and happy Googling.